Is your financial advisor worth their fees? Let's run the numbers to find out, all right? So most financial advisors who do a fee service for percent of funds under management typically charge a 2% fee. So when we run the numbers in this example, we're going to use a $100,000 account balance with a 2% fee for a financial advisor, which is typically the industry standard. Now, there's another type of financial advisor called a fiduciary, and that is a type of financial advisor that I personally use and recommend to people. They are a fee-only financial advisor, and they do not charge the same payment structure as far as percent of fees under management. So it's a good idea to know how your financial advisor is compensated and what type of financial advisor you are working with. So on to our example. There's going to be 3 examples that I'm going to run here, okay? One is assuming that you have a 12% growth with this financial advisor, all right? And the market average is 10%. We're going to use 10% as the market average. We're going to do calculations based on 12% if your financial advisor beats the market, based on 10% if your financial advisor matches the market, and then 8% if your financial advisor is below the market. And then what is their real cost? How much are you paying them to manage those funds? And what is your net gain after you pay your financial advisor percent-wise? And then let's see if you think it's worth having them. All right? So in our first example, I'm going to run these numbers based off of the compound calculator on financialmentor.com. You go here, you can open the calculator, and I'm going to be inputting the numbers here. It'll spit out the max, and if you guys want to run these calculations yourself, here's how you could do it. Or if you want to play around with this compound calculator, I have the link in the video. But from this point forward, I'm just going to show you what the numbers are. All right? So at 12% after 1 year, you would have compounded your interest to a total of $112,682.50. Now, when your financial advisor takes a 2% fee from that, that 2% fee is $2,253.65. So your net at the end of that means that your balance, your actual account balance, will be $110,428.85. Now remember, you started with $100,000 at the beginning of the year, so at the end of the year, that would mean that if your financial advisor can get you a 12% ROI, you will actually net a 10.42% ROI, right? So you're just below the market average. You're like right there. So if your financial advisor is beating the market by larger than their 2% fee, they are definitely worth it in terms of the income that you're getting. Now, what if they tie the market? They have about the same average as the market, around the 10% mark. Well, we plug that number in. At 1 year, you will have an account balance of $110,471.31. Now, you subtract the 2% advisory fee, and that fee is $2,209.42. You're paying $2,200 for that year for the advice that they gave you and to get you equal market average returns. Now, if you noticed, the first example, the 2% fee, and the second example, the 2% fee, there's barely any difference, even though your financial advisor did a 2% less ROI for you. Now, your net at the end of that year at a 10% ROI is $108,261.88. That means even though you would have gotten a 10% ROI, you actually got a 8.26% ROI. Now, how about an 8% return on investment? After 1 year, you would you would have accumulated $108,299.95. Now you subtract the 2% fee of $2,165.99. That's still very close to the 12% number. All right, so your financial advisor is going to get paid the same, whether they earn you or lose you money. You get stuck with a net gain of $106,133.95. A net gain of only 6.13%. Now, those numbers may be shocking, but this number is even more shocking. 98% of financial advisors in the market do not beat the market, which means the majority of the time your financial advisor is losing you money. Now, that should be a little bit of a wake-up call, because if the only person you are getting your financial advice and your financial education, the only person you're getting that from is your financial advisor, you are only getting a very small piece of the pie, and you are paying a lot of money to do it. $100,000 account balance, and you're spending $2,000 every single year for their services. Now, you might say, well, I don't have that amount of money right now. Okay, fine. That's fine, but think about over the course of 30 years. How much money over the course of your investing life will you spend? Because I just gave an example of a 1-year fee, right? I mean, did you know that if you max out your Roth IRA for 10 years, $500 a month, and you can get about market average of 10%, you would have your $100,000 within a 10-year period of time. So let's look at what that fee would be like actually over the course of 30 years. Okay, so here you'll see at 12% over the course of 30 years, you would have gotten about $3.6 million rounded to, right? But since you're actually getting closer to a 10.42%, you're actually getting closer to $2.247 million. So your true opportunity cost is really $1.347 million, and that's a pretty significant amount of money. I mean, let's look at 10% ROI, right? So over the course of 30 years at 10%, you would have gotten $1.98 million. Now, with the actual net percent 8.26, the total comes out to only $1,181,000 change. So really your true opportunity cost comes out to $802,000. Now, at 8% over the course of 30 years, you have about $1 million. And the actual net percent is 6.13%, comes out to about $626,000. So your opportunity cost in this example is $467,000. So that is a pretty significant chunk of your portfolio to be lost to just advisory fees. Now, of course, these examples are linear compounded interest equations, which is not how the typical stock market works. This is a hypothetical situation used to show you in real numbers an example of how the fees that you have attached to your accounts can eat away at your money. Whether or not your financial advisor makes you money or loses you money, they're pretty much going to get the same paycheck at the end of the year. So, knowledge is power, guys. I hope that this information is very enlightening, because I have a ton more information just like this that can open your eyes to how the financial services industry works, other types of investments you can get into that does not rely solely on the stock market and your financial advisor's advice, because they can't advise you about other really awesome investments like real estate. They can't teach you how to self-direct your retirement accounts so that you could get into real estate or other types of investments within the tax-sheltered bubble. So I hope that this shows you that, and I hope that you guys understand that this information is not easily available to people. All right, it is not well known. All right, this information you're not going to get from your schools. You're not going to get from college. You're not going to get from your financial advisors. So where do you get this information from? Well, I've taken time over the course of 15 years to expand my financial education through a multitude of non-conventional schooling, through books, through online blogs, through podcasts, through YouTube videos, through online courses. I've paid to go to conventions and seminars. I've paid coaches to help teach me. And I have my wealth building team, which are a group of professionals that work directly with me to give me the very specific advice that I need to execute these transactions. Now, before you get to any of that stuff, the foundation is with education. And I can provide you a way to get that education without having to do any of that stuff, without having to leave your home, without having to go and find a coach or go to a seminar or any of that. You just have to join my free strategy group, MaximizeYourWealthGroup.com. If you join that group, there are tons of free educational videos that can help open your mind to what exists for you to build long-term wealth and pretty much clear away sort of the misinformation you've been given about how to build long-term wealth, and understand how the industry is set up in a way that the people that you get your financial advice from typically have the biggest conflict of interest in the industry and can cost you the largest amount of money when it comes to what your portfolio value would have been over time. And that's huge. So by taking the time to learn this with me, you are empowering yourself to change your family legacy. And beyond that, when you get the education yourself, you can empower your children. You can give them the knowledge and education that they need so that when they get out of high school to college and start their own career, you've given them the foundation to catapult them forward. I mean, I don't know how many of you out there had a ton of education given to you from your parents, but a lot of our parents didn't even have this education. So imagine being able to give your children that foundation to build long-term wealth and manage wealth as they go through their career. So I hope this video inspires you. I hope you guys join my free strategy group, MaximizeYourWealthGroup.com. There's tons of more content there. Like, share, invite your friends. Trust me, everyone needs to know this information. And I believe that every hardworking American should have access to this information. And when they have access to this information, they can then choose how do they want to leave their legacy. So see you guys soon.